What do you like doing most with your mummy? Maybe you like baking with her, or riding your bike, or playing a game, or watching a fun movie. Hello everyone, I'm Kathleen Pelly. Welcome to Journey with Story. How did you answer my question? Maybe some of you enjoy listening to this podcast with your mum. I hope so, because since we celebrate Mother's Day in America this coming Sunday, today's episode is a special Encore bonus playlist with 3 of our most popular stories about mummies and their little ones. Now, of course, here in the UK, we celebrated Mother's Day back in March, but there's nothing wrong with having another nice little celebration for your mum this month, is there? The 3 stories we have picked for you today are The Ugly Duckling, Happy Mamas, written by me, and Mama Ostrich. Enjoy! Let's take a journey with The Ugly Duckling by Hans Christian Andersen. Long ago, on a farm, a mama duck sat on her nest. How long must I wait for my babies to hatch? She wondered. I have to sit here all alone and no one comes to visit me. But what could she do? A mama duck must keep her eggs warm till they hatch. At last the eggs began to crack. One by one, yellow ducklings stepped out of their shells. They shook their wings and said, "Quack, quack." "Look at all of you," cried Mama Duck. "You are all so darling." "Quack, quack," replied her babies. "Come and line up," said Mama Duck. "We will go down to the lake for your very first swim." She counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh dear, she said. I should have 6 ducklings. But one large egg was still in the nest. "Well," said Mama Duck, "it looks like that big egg is going to need more time." So off she went to sit on the nest again and wait and wait. The next day the big egg started to hatch. Out came a baby boy bird. But it was rather odd looking. This bird was much bigger than the others. He was not yellow at all. He was dark grey from his head to his feet, and he walked with a funny kind of a wobble. One of the yellow ducklings pointed. "What is that?" "He cannot be one of us." "I've never seen such an ugly duckling," said another. "How can you say such a thing?" scolded Mama Duck. "You are only 1 day old. Your brother hatched from the very same nest as you did. Now line up, we will go to the lake for your very first swim." But still the other ducklings quacked, "Ugly, ugly, ugly." The ugly duckling did not know why the other ducklings were yelling at him. He hung his head in shame and took his place at the very end of the line. Each yellow duck jumped in the river and swam behind Mama Duck. When it was his turn, the ugly duckling jumped in and started to paddle too. "At least he can swim," Mama Duck said to herself. When they left the water and started to play, the ugly duckling tried to join in with his brothers and sisters, but they all yelled, "Go away! We will not play with you. You are ugly, and you walk all wonky, not like us at all." When Mama Duck was close by, she would not let them be so cruel. "Be nice," she would scold. But sometimes Mama Duck was not close by, and on one of those occasions one of the yellow ducklings said to the ugly duckling, "You know what? You would do us a big favour if you just went away from here." All of them started to quack, "Get out! Get out! Get out!" "Why won't they let me stay here?" said the ugly duckling to himself. He hung his head again in shame. Maybe they are right. I should go." That night the ugly duckling flew over the farmyard fence. He flew till he landed on the other side of the lake. There he met 2 grown-up ducks. "Can I please stay here for a while?" said the ugly duckling. "I have nowhere else to be." "Oh, what do we care?" said one of the ducks. "Just don't get in our way." Woof, woof! Suddenly a big, hungry dog came tearing by, chasing the 2 ducks. They soared up into the air, and their feathers fell down on the ground. The poor, ugly duckling froze with fear. The dog sniffed and sniffed at the ugly duckling, then turned away. "I am too ugly even for the hungry dog to want," wailed the ugly duckling. After a while the sky turned dark. Crack! A bolt of lightning flashed through the air, and heavy rains began to pour. Soon the ugly duckling was soaked through and through. Then a cold wind started to blow. "Brr," he said, clamping both wings close to his chest. If only there was a place I could get dry." All at once a tiny light blinked far off in the woods. Could it be someone's hut? He flew to the door. "Quack!" said the ugly duckling. The door of the hut creaked open. "What is all this noise?" said an old woman, looking right and left, for she couldn't see very well. "Well, it's a duck," she said, and she picked up the ugly duckling and dropped him inside her hut. "You can stay here, but only if you lay some eggs," she said. A tomcat and a hen crept up to the ugly duckling. "Who do you think you are, coming in here and taking up room by the fire?" said the tomcat. "Squawk!" said the hen. "I do not need anyone else in this hut laying eggs." "Don't worry about that," said the ugly duckling. "I am a boy duck." "Then why are you still here?" said the tomcat. "Did you not hear what the old woman said?" "Get out of here!" clucked the hen. Get out, hissed the tomcat. The poor ugly duckling slipped out through a crack in the door and back outside into the storm. "No one ever wants me," he whimpered as he set off on his own into the countryside. When the storm finally ended, he came across a big lake, and looking into the water, he saw the reflection of a flock of large white birds flying above him. He looked up and could not believe what he saw. Beautiful birds with long white bodies and sleek, slender necks gliding through the sky. He watched until the very last bird had flown out of sight. For a long time the ugly duckling stayed by that lake. He stayed until the leaves of the trees turned deep red and gold. He stayed until the leaves fell to the ground. He stayed until winter came, with its thick blanket of snow, and the cold wind and the dark clouds made the ugly duckling feel even more sad and more alone. He had to go into the cold, cold lake to fish, but it was getting harder to swim. The lake was turning to ice. One day, it was all he could do to paddle the water to keep it from freezing around him and trapping him in the lake. "I'm so tired," he said, paddling with all his might. The ice got thicker and drew closer to him. In a moment, 2 huge hands swept him up. "You poor thing," said a farmer. He held the ugly duckling close to his thick wool jacket and took the bird to his home. For the rest of the winter, the kind farmer cared for the ugly duckling. Then spring came. The trees sprouted fresh green buds. little flowers popped up from the ground. "It's time for you to go to the lake to swim again, as you were born to do," said the farmer. He took the duckling back to the lake where he had found him and set him gently on the water. "I feel so strong now," said the young bird as he flapped his wings. Behind him he heard soft splashing sounds. He looked around and saw that same flock of beautiful birds he had once seen before, landing right next to him on the lake. At that same moment he caught a glimpse of his reflection in the water, and he gasped. "What is this?" he said. He stretched out his neck, and the reflection of the beautiful bird stretched its neck too. Then the bird, who was once called an ugly duckling, knew what had happened. He was not an ugly grey bird who wobbled when he walked. He was one of them, a beautiful white swan. As the flock flapped their wings and took flight, he too soared up into the sky, full of grace and might and splendour. At last he was home with his family, and all was right with the world. Let's take a journey with Happy Mamas, written by me and published by the Child Welfare League of America. What makes a mama happy at the dawn of day? Feeding her little ones bundles of bamboo shoots to munch and crunch in leafy forest dell. Diving deep for a fishy feast that wee ones gulp with whiskery snouts, then follow with a flip-flap-floppy hunk of delight. Tossing pancakes in the pan, serve the stack all sticky and sweet, turns a sleepy head into a smiley face. That's a my baby's belly's full kind of happy mama. What makes a mama happy as the sun begins to climb? Teaching her Joey how to hop and leap beyond the pouch, scrape a spot in cool of shade, to doze and dream the day away. Teaching her calf how to follow close, trunk and tail, spray and snorkel, trumpet loud a jungle cheer. Teaching her tot how to tiptoe close, watch and wonder, huff and puff, a dandelion wish. That's a see how smart my baby is kind of happy mama. What makes a mama happy as clouds shuffle by? Playing with her little ones, tag the tail, loop the loop, swing and swoosh, dip and dangle all a tangle in a topsy-turvy fun fandango. Slide and slither, wibble wobble, teeter totter, wings all wonky, skate and skid, oops-a-daisy. Peek-a-boo, skip to my loo, nibble nosies, tickle toesies. That's a come play with me kind of happy mama. What makes a mama happy as twilight glimmers, watching her little ones fly from the nest, soar up high into a world beyond of tips and tops and airy wispy wonder. Watching her little ones all a waddle and a paddle, all a dabble and a dibble, splish, splash, splash, off they sail with a quack, quack, quack. Watching her little one pick up baby brother, brush him off, wipe his tears, cuddle close and kiss him better. That's a
see my baby go kind of happy mama. What makes a mama happy at hush of night? Making music with her little ones, singing beneath a starry desert sky, a serenade for the man in the moon to make him smile and light up the night, crooning owly lullabies, hush-a-bye, rock-a-bye, to-wit-to, whispering woo, through the deep dark woods, singing rub-a-dub-tub songs in the bath while blowing bubbles, floating ducks and sailing ships. That's a sing-song singing kind of happy mama. But as the moon glows and the stars shine, what makes all mamas, from desert to jungle, from forest to field, from land to sea, happiest by far? Having their little ones next to them, tucked up tight, all cuddled and kissed, from tusk to tail, from beak to claw, from snout to paw, from head to toe. That's my baby's loved and happy kind of happy mama. Happy night, happy baby. Happy night, happy mama. Let's take a journey with Mama Ostrich. The pride and joy of Mama Ostrich were her 2 baby chicks hatched from her very own eggs. One day, when Mama Ostrich returned home from gathering food for her 2 dear chicks, she looked and looked for them, but could not find them anywhere. Imagine her alarm when she discovered lion tracks around her 2-footed chick's tracks. But even a lion was not enough to scare off Mama Ostrich. She was determined to find her babies, and so off she went, following the lion's tracks, which led her deep into the woods and finally ended at the den of Mama Lion. In the opening through the cave there lay her own dear chicks, in the arms of Mama Lion. "Oh, what are you doing with my chicks?" cried Mama Ostrich. "Return them to me at once." "What do you mean, your chicks?" Mama Lion growled. "These are my cubs. That's plain to see." "It's not at all plain to see," said Mama Ostrich. "Those are chicks, ostrich chicks, and I'm an ostrich, and you're a lion." "Ha! Is that so?" snarled Mama Lion. "Then you won't have any trouble finding any other animal who agrees with you. I dare you. Find any animal at all that will look me in the eye and tell me that these are not my cubs. Do that, then I'll release them to you." Mama Lion got up, stretched, and roared a ferocious roar. Mama Ostrich quickly ran off to each and every animal to tell them that she was assembling a meeting to discuss a terrible injustice. When she arrived at the home of the mongoose and told him her sad story, the mongoose thought and thought. Then he had an idea. He told her to dig a hole under an anthill and to make a second exit out of the anthill. This she did, and then she told all the animals, including Mama Lion, to gather there at the anthill. When all had gathered, Mama Ostrich explained to the group how Mama Lion had captured her dear sweet chicks. The zebras and antelopes and all the other animals glanced at the chicks held closely by Mamma Lion, and nodded with understanding. But when Mamma Ostrich said that she needed just one animal to come forward and look Mamma Lion in the eye and tell her that she was not the mother of these chicks, each and every animal in the meeting looked down at the ground. One by one, when each animal was asked, each animal whispered that the little ones definitely belonged to Mamma Lion, and there was no question about that. But when it came to Mongoose's turn, he cried out, "Have you ever seen a mamma with fur? With babies that had feathers? Think of what you're saying. Mamma Lion has fur. The chicks have feathers. They belong to the ostrich." And having said that, Mongoose jumped down the hole under the anthill and escaped out the other end. At once, Mamma Lion jumped after him, and when she did, the 2 ostrich chicks were freed. Of course, they scrambled immediately right into their mother's open wings. Not knowing about the second exit, Mamma Lion paced and paced by that ant-hole hill, waiting for Mongoose to come out of the hole by which he had entered. Meanwhile, one by one, all the other animals slunk off home, leaving that Mamma Lion waiting at the entrance to the anthill for a very, very, very long time. Well, I wonder which one of those episodes was your favourite, and which one was your mum's favourite. Thanks to all of you wonderful mothers all over the world who nurture a love of stories in your little ones. Happy Mother's Day, wherever you are. Cheerio then. Join me next time for Journey with Story. Music and post-production was by Colette Jonas.